Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sundays in the Studio. I'm Kelly Schaub with Collage-Lab, and today I'm going to create a collage masterboard. And stick around to the end because what I'm going to use this masterboard for is a little bit surprising. Something I've never done before, but I'm really excited about it. So, first of all, I start out my masterboards by going to the color wheel and then picking a color palette of different mixed media supplies. I have some acrylic paints, I have some inks, I have some markers and pens and spray inks, and these are the things that I'm going to start with to keep this cohesive kind of fiesta color palette going on throughout the masterboard. So the first thing I usually start with a masterboard is some collage elements. Gotta get rid of that blank space too. So I'm going to start with a little mark making. This is a black grease pencil or China marker, and I'm just going to get rid of that white space and free it up for a collage. The thing about creating a masterboard is that this is going to be cut into several smaller pieces for a little surprise today. And so what I'm looking at as I create this is not the overall composition, but in making all of the little areas interesting. So if you were going to cut this up for artist trading cards, ATCs, you would want each one to have an interesting mix of things happening in the background. I also cut these up and use them as backgrounds for collage series, and it gives you a cohesive background that, they blend well together in a series. So I'm just going to start by gluing down some collage papers. These are 2.5-inch circles that I cut out of an old book with some great black and white imagery. And so I'm just looking for adding some variety around the entire piece of paper. This is an 11 by 15 inch piece of cold press 140-pound watercolor paper, and I like that weight, generally speaking, because it is going to put up with a lot of abuse. And I am putting these papers down with golden gel matte medium, and I'm just, as you can see, putting them all over the masterboard so that each area of the finished piece has areas of interest. So this is kind of step one and step two. Make some marks and put down some collage elements. This is going to add some texture as well as I add paint and ink and crayons and markers and pastels and whatever else I grab out of my art supplies. But I'm just giving myself some interest in the background to start. And then I'm going to start with adding some fun stuff. And I'm looking at my palette, and I'm thinking that I want to just start kind of big and bold. This is a homemade stamp that I made, and I'm going to use Liquitex Basics Brilliant Purple. That's in my color palette, and so I'm going to get a little bit of that. I'm going to ink up my stamp with a makeup sponge. You could use a brayer. You could roll out your ink and put the stamp into it. I'm not using a lot of paint, but I want to get a few stamps of this big design down to get the color going on the old masterboard. You can also use like your jelly plate as a palette to roll out some color and put your stamp in it. All right, so that's step one. This is a two-sided stamp I created on a piece of wood. Okay, I like that. I'm not going for crisp, clear lines with my stamps or my stencils. I'm doing this mainly to add interest and color throughout this masterboard. So just putting some purple on the stamp. We'll go a different direction this time. And like I said, I want to create areas of interest all over this masterboard. I'm going to put more paint on this time. I'm swiping it on, and we'll go here and a little bit here. So we've got some color down. Let's add some more interesting things. One of my favorite things is a spray ink. And I'm going to stay with the purples here. This is kind of the background. And I'm going to grab some letters. So I'm going to grab some letters to add interest, but also to make it not readable. I'm going to put this letter stencil upside down and backwards, and same with this one. And I'm going to put that one at an angle. I've got Distress Oxide spray in Vivid Violet, Wilted Violet, excuse me. And so I'm just going to spritz some of this on. Purple on purple is going to get us started. Maybe. Sprayers, not always the thing you can count on. Okay, we won't use that one. We will use this walnut ink. It's a cherry blossom colored walnut ink, and I love these as well. So a little bit of spritzing on these letter stencils. I can add a little to the background as well if I'd like. And so we're just putting down some color. Oh yes. All right. See how the actual letters, they're a little more dominant here, but we're going to be adding more stuff. And so that is going to kind of take care of that. I'm going to add a real bright color now with your yellow to kind of pop. I've got Golden Hansa Yellow Light, and I am going to use a homemade stamp that I carved out of rubber. And I'm going to load it up with a makeup sponge. My fingers will be all of these colors by the end of this video. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to add this yellow all around. So I've got some pops of color. This is very close to the background, and so these will get covered up with the multiple layers coming soon, but we'll still have that pop of the yellow coming through, and that's what I'm looking for. Go all the way to your edges. You want to cover the entire surface with marks and papers and paint and areas of interest. So it almost looks like an olive. Mix it up, move your stamp around, put it down in different directions, different orientations. Okay, one more. Okay, so that's a little bit of yellow. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of teal, golden fluid acrylics teal. Just squeeze out a little bit. And I'm going to add some dots. So I've just got a little sponge bouncer, and so I'm going to add some teal dots around. And this is a nice opaque color, so whatever it goes over, it covers up what was there before. Little pops of color, interest. Dots are always so much fun anyhow, so that is some dots. Now I think I'm going to let this dry for a couple minutes, and I'll come back and I'll start adding some more marks, some more stencils, some more lines, some more paint, some more collage papers, until I've covered the surface. Welcome back. I am going to continue adding to this Collage Masterboard with all the mixed media supplies. I'm going to actually speed up the video because you're going to be using your own colors, your own supplies, your own papers. I'll show you what I'm using, and I'll have a list down below of all of the supplies. So this is Mermaid Lagoon Archival Distress ink, and I'm just going to add this color in a few different places. This stencil has a lot of different options, and so I'm going to pick these lines. And continue adding throughout the collage. So get on your marks, get set, and go as far as adding more and more layers. All right, we're almost done. At this point, I'm going to take this outside and spray it with workable fixative because I have used some water-soluble materials that could run if I add more on top of them. I am going to add a few more layers, and then I will tell you and show you what kind of a fabulous surprise I'm creating out of this very colorful collage masterboard. For the next step, I'm going to glue down some more collage papers. I've got some book pages and some colorful maps. So I'm going to add some more circles around the masterboard. Again, keeping areas of interest throughout. We're not worried about the overall composition. Once I cut it up, we will never see it all together like that again. But we will see some fun little pieces full of a variety of papers, colors, marks, and different materials. So these are map pieces, and again, I'm using my golden matte gel medium. It works really well with all of these layers of paint and ink and other mark making supplies. And now that those are glued down, my next step, I'm going to go in, I'm going to add some white. And one of my favorite whites that goes over all sorts of paint, papers, inks is a jumbo correction pen. Really like how this is a really nice white and really gives a great white line. So I'm going to go around a few of these circles. I'll draw some lines between some of them. Zigzags. And as you can see, there's just a lot of interesting little things happening with this collage masterboard. Okay, now what am I going to do with it? A lot of times I'll cut these up and make artist trading cards. I'll cut them up and have them as backgrounds for a small series. They'll all have a similar interesting background. In this case, I am going to cut them into 2.5-inch circles. And so I've got just a template that I punched out just to show you some of the really interesting little circle pieces that I'm going to be able to get from this masterboard. As I move around the template, lots of little interesting areas, just a lot of fun going on. As I move it over here, see how that white line pops? I really like that. Most of these circles that I cut will end up incorporating some of that white line, just a little bit there, nothing there. but just a variety of really interesting circles that I can, see that I'm going to make with this template. Okay, once this is all dry, the final step is going to be to cut these into 2.5-inch circles, and then I'm going to apply 2.5-inch circle labels on the back with my contact information, and they will be little round handmade one of a kind business cards that I can hand out. Next step is I will print some round labels with my business card information, and before I attach those, I'm going to go around the edges with archival ink. This is Faded Jeans, and I'm going to go around the edges of each of the round little collages. We could go like that, because I think the labels are just a little bit smaller than my circles. My circles were punched out with a 2.5-inch paper punch, and I put it upside down so that I could frame what was going to be in each circle as I punched it out. So I'm going to go around the edges of each of these, and then I'm going to attach the labels, and we'll have round, one-of-a-kind collage business cards from our very colorful masterboard. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like and subscribe, and check out everything that's happening at Collage-Lab.com. Got lots of fun classes, play dates. A few times a year I do Collage Coaching Week, where I share everything you ever wanted to know about collage. I've got a membership program starting at $7 a month, where you can get together with the most amazing community of collage artists. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around Collage Lab real soon.